We're on question of the day with the reverse Benjamin Button, Brad Pitt. How are you doing?
Good.
Question of the day is reverse Benjamin Button, Brad Pitt. If you're going on an expedition and you come across a very vicious, wild Steve Stewart, what would you do?
You'd have to tell me what a wild Steve Stewart is first.
Steve Stewart, but wild.
Oh. Well, I mean, I still don't know what that is.
Just picture Steve Stewart, but he's got the spikes in his back, the foam in his mouth.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have rabies. He just had a
Well, then he's not really wild.
he just had a root beer float. He doesn't have rabies.
Question of the day is if you were to go on an excursion or there's lightning in the area. I just heard it. I didn't know there was any storms in this area though. If you were to come in contact with a wild Steve Stewart, a wild Steve President Stewart, a rabid Steve Stewart, what would you do? Would you put him in a cage? Would you set him free? Would you taser him? You would taser the president?
I have a taser.
You have a taser?
Yeah, with me.
Oh, I hope not with you, because if that were the case, I'd be getting up from this table. I don't feel like getting 5,000 volts of electricity.
Do you not have your personal taser?
I don't have a personal taser. I don't need a personal taser because I've got these guys.
I have these guys too, but
I've got two guns. Two big shotguns right here.
mine are loaded.
Yours are loaded. You know, we're going to have to arrest you. You've been waiting for this moment all your life. If you were to come in contact with a wild, rabid Matt Noel on this excursion, like you're in the jungle, you're going through the jungle, and you come across a wild me, okay? Would you cage it and, like, get rid of it? Would you make it a pet and just, like, feed it and that kind of stuff? Would you kill it? Just straight up kill it, don't even need to think about
Yeah,
it.
because, I mean, like, I don't want you to get me rabid. That's a mess for everybody. Because if we, like, eliminate you, then it's fine. It's fine for me, you know? Like, I'm sorry about your loss, but, like, I'll be fine.
The question today is, if you were to go on an excursion, okay? And you were to go on to this excursion or an exploration, and you went on this exploration, and while you're on this exploration, you come in contact with a wild Steve Stewart, okay? A wild Steve Stewart.
A wild Steve Stewart?
A wild Steve Stewart, okay? Do you keep it in a cage? Do you put it in a shark tank? Do you just kill him? Or do you take him out to a nice dinner?
Well, if I had the wild Steve Stewart, I'd put him in a cage. He'd be mine. He would be my wild Steve Stewart. And then I'll take him out to dinner if he's good.
What restaurant would you take him to?
Bob Evans.
Okay. All right, and we're I don't know what I'm saying. What would you do with this wild Steve Stewart?
Put him in a cage.
Put him in a cage?
Keep him as a pet.
Put him in a cage and keep him as a pet?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense because, like, if you have a pet, you do have to put him in a cage. Otherwise, they will pee and poop all over the house.
If he does that, then he's out of the house. I'm going to kill him.
Oh, jeez.
Lovingly. Lovingly.
Lovingly kill, because that's a possible thing. I've heard that before. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Sorry about that earlier. I felt like I had this thing in me that
Get it out of you, man. I understand.
this name kept coming to me. I think it was like El Bigote. That kept.
Cousin.
That's your cousin?
Yeah.
El Capo. It's no Spanish name right now.
That's you're talking about?
You could be El Capo.
El Paco. Paco Taco. Paco the Taco. Oh man, Man, I say I felt him coming out. But he's coming out again.
You got to go. You got to let it out, brother. You got to let it
I
out.
want to let it out, but I cannot because I am married and my wife would make me leave. So I gotta reel that in. Sorry about that, guys. All right.
I try to help it because it just needs understanding.
That's
It's misunderstood.
that's so true in our society today. I
It's
agree.
sad, isn't it?
It really is.
He's just misunderstood.
We should open up a charity.
We should.
The
That's a good idea.
the Steve Stewart
The Wild Steve.
Wild Steve Stewart Foundation for
Steve Stewart's.
Wild Steve Stewarts who want to not be wild and do other things better too.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna open up a foundation. If you want to donate, it's $5. It'll go directly into my wallet. I will make sure it gets where it needs to be. The phone number is 1-800-WAILD Wild Steve Stewart.